you know, if Johann Sebastian Bach were alive today, he would probably be performing in a group similar to Chicago. You know, if Beethoven was alive today, he would probably be writing for those musical forms. We're trying to do things originally, uniquely, and honestly. If you've studied our records, the sounds of the records, the way the records have been recorded, the way the group has been rehearsed, the way they have written for the records, and the way they have written for the performances, which are two different aspects of writing, it's very symphonic.
I first took music lessons when I was about 9 years old. My father had played trumpet in various dance bands around Chicago, and I played clarinet all the way through high school. When I started out at DePaul University, I had the idea that I was going to teach school and went into playing orchestral clarinet. I was offered an assistant professorship in music at DePaul and passed it up to stay with the group. I thought there were more creative things to be said with the seven of us than with teaching and symphonic playing at that time.
Can't take it no more. People hating, hurting their brothers they don't understand. Oh, they can't understand. Better end soon, my friend. You better end soon, my friend. Yeah, yeah. Just think about it.
People that view bands or see bands think that we're some kind of superhuman being, and that we don't do the same things that regular people do, eat meals the same way, or just breathe and enjoy life the way they do. You know, I think they put us on a different plane, and it's weird reacting to the way they treat you, because you want to be treated the way normal people are.
A lot of different things, you know. Let everybody individually write and play the way he wants to, and yet still be able to play it all together, you know. That musically is, I think, what we're doing, you know.
Your jazz roots are phenomenal. Yet you said earlier that you had worked out of Chicago playing when you first got together in Chicago.
Well, all seven of us started about 3 years ago. Yeah. 3 years ago together, but it was an entirely different attitude towards playing music. The tune that I dug that was set up next, the
Moby Grape
that I mentioned to you, we were a copy band at the time. You know, we did a lot of other people's material. The big hang-up there was in Chicago at the time, you really didn't work unless you played somebody else's material.
I see.
You know, and it started to get, it was a big hang-up.
In other words, you had to play mostly the thing that was familiar with people already.
Right. On the stations, you know, the top 40 stations.
Like we did stuff like Tijuana Brass medleys.
Oh, really?
You know, Temptation medley. Yeah. Oh, you know, all that's. We did everything. We did absolutely
Satin Down.
And then we started doing original material, and it was a small group of people that dug it in Chicago. But all the while we were in contact with Jim Guercio.
I first became involved with the fellows in Chicago in college. See, I was a classical musician. We went to school together at DePaul University. I had gone through about 2 years of college with the horn section in Chicago. And when I decided to get involved in pop music because the academic environment was stifling, all these fellows were performing in different groups or in different units around the city of Chicago. And we were able to put them together, and they worked under the name of The Big Thing for about a year in Chicago. And they played all the lounges and all the bars and all the dances, and they played terrible jobs just to keep together.
Well, you never really saw the true owners. That's pretty diplomatic. But they were run by people, which I guess you would call the outfit. This is common knowledge in Chicago. People that came into the nightclubs were not there primarily just to have a good time and have a couple of drinks, but to get like sort of drunk and look for a fight in a place. And more oftentimes than not, in some of the places where we worked, in the middle of a tune, we'd find ourselves in the midst of a fight. This kind of atmosphere, and while you're playing, it doesn't breed for any creativity, but a mess of paranoia, and always running to the back room to get out of the way of a flying chair or something like that. It was, to sum it up, it was hard to play, and you couldn't really experiment. And then they wanted you to be in a suit, for the most part, and play and dance and sing and tell jokes and stuff like that. And we saw it a different way, and we knew we had to get out.
And when the time was right, we brought them to Los Angeles, and they sat for almost a year, about 9 months, in this house in Hollywood here. And they didn't leave that house. There was 8-hour sessions every day. It was a good year's work of creativity. We had 6 albums completely finished. So it took about 1 year before they even considered themselves an original act.